Okay, I'm going to bring an update to my tank. Now, I hate talking over videos, so I'll do my best. This is the Aqua Reef 300. It's been running for almost a year now. I have changed the lighting unit for the Aqua soles, and I don't use the glass sheets on the top anymore. Fingers crossed sometimes this year the upgrade to the 52s will come out and I can change them. Got my plated montipora. Slightly bleached out on the top sadly because I put my lights on a little bit too much, but it's coming back. Got my candy canes, some pulsing Xenia, and then green star polyp. And this stuff is just a weed and grows everywhere. So if you're going to do it, don't make the mistake I did and allow it to spread onto other rocks. Sadly I forgot the name to this one, but it's a beautiful piece. And there's my bird's nest at the back, which is just growing back because I did originally have it high up the tank and the lights just bleached it out. Just nice zoos. Sadly I'm terrible on names as well, I forget what half of them are called. This one's a galaxy coral. Now I got this one purposely to try and stop my green star polyps from growing across. This has got long sweep tentacles, and as you can see it's stopping the polyps from opening out at the edge. But this is a beautiful coral, it's lovely. Got my recordias, looking well. I never have explosive growth in my tank unfortunately, but Australian Duncans. My brain coral. Now again, I mean I know that you're supposed to have these quite low down. That's probably why mine never really grows. I do really like it though, it's just lovely. At night it swells up. Again, this coral serves a purpose. You can see this long sweeping tentacles are out to try and stop again star polyp from growing over and taking over my rocks. It's quite an aggressive coral. I know these sweepy tentacles get quite long, but fingers crossed it will not go any further than that. Again, more pulsing Xenia stuff again, another weed. You have to just try and surround it with corals that are quite aggressive. Stop it from spreading and taking over your tank. My rose ball-tipped enemy. And my clowns I've taken to this, but they just don't spend all day in it, which is a shame because it's lovely to watch. This one's my pride and joy. This is my branching hammer. The video truly doesn't do it justice. It is magnificent. It's essentially covered, and then when the lights go out you can see there's tiny little heads on it. I'm just too nervous to frag it. You see my tuxedo urchin there? Bizarrely he always climbs up it as well. I'm lucky it never causes any damage. This is my bubble coral. Again, the video doesn't do it justice. This is a magnificent piece. It's one of the first corals I had. It's massive now. I do occasionally feed it shrimp. And there's a single orange mushroom which I got from my cousin's tank. So he grows that stuff like a weed. Here's my elegance coral. This is another massive piece. Again, I know that people keep these low down, but the flow is just so gentle there. It's getting dangerously close to my hammer as well, so again I'm going to have to review fragging that. Now I am quite heavily stocked on fish. I know some people frown upon this. I've got a Red Sea purple tang, yellow tang, 2 clowns, a blue tang, got a flame angel, 2 cleaner shrimps and an emperor cardinal. I've got an agreement with my local store that when these tangs get a little bit too big, they'll rehang them for me. Now since my last video, obviously my corals, I've got more corals. Most of them have grown out quite well. But I have changed quite a lot in terms of equipment. On the left I've got a newave 1.6 fan. That's purely just to try and stop particles from landing on my montipora. And I've got an MP40. I recommend this for anyone. This pump is superb. It really is worth the money. We tend to get fed 1 cube a day, and then the corals will get fed every couple of days. I feed my Anemone, silversides, and then the elegance and the bubble get shrimp. The rest of the corals just have to catch food from the water column. Now one thing I have played around with a lot is my sump. Something that I can never truly get satisfied with. Now all this colouring in my piping is an attempt to try and dampen the noise, because this filter system can be quite noisy. Seems to have done the trick. But the problem I've got is it's a very small sump. It's about 50 litres, and in terms of trying to get equipment in it, it's quite difficult. So it comes down the first chamber, drops to the bottom, rises up this second chamber, from which I crown with a filter wool. This gets replaced once or twice a week, and drops into the third chamber. That's my TMC top-up unit, tops up with RO water, evaporation. That's quite messy. I've got 3 pumps. One is my deltec UV light, and 2 of them are just standalone pumps, which pump straight into the filter sock. So sadly the filter sock doesn't fit in my first chamber, and this is kind of the messed up way I've gone about it. I've got a heater there and a very small filter, which to be honest doesn't do the best of jobs. Got a bubble magus curve 5 skimmer, which if you're after it, I mean, I've had a few skimmers. I've had a deltec MC 600, I've had a TMC, and this bubble magus is not only is it a great skimmer, but it is silent. So if you're after something that's quiet, I would definitely recommend that one. And this was my most recent purchase, as I went with the bubble magus calcium reactor. Every night I was dosing KH and calcium, and your levels are just constantly going out of sync. Anyone who's just after a bit hassle free, wants to keep the water about right, then this is a good investment. So I've got a tap unit coming off of one of my pipes, my bigger pipe, which pumps water into it. Then my CO2 canister, aimed at around about 1 bubble every 4 seconds or so. Depends on whether or not there's air trapped in it. It's pumped straight into my sock again. There. I've got a bag of carbon which is pushed down into there, and that gets changed every couple of weeks. The filter sock probably lasts a couple of weeks as well. This is a must-have, which is a phosphate reactor. I've probably gone on a little bit too fast, to be honest. Probably turn that down a little bit. I don't use raw phos, I use bio-phos. It seems to absorb it a lot quicker. Never seems to last very long in my tank. I've then got a JBL fans set to a thermostat, so when it gets too hot they come on, kick out cool air straight across the sump, and bizarrely this actually does, it's very effective, it works very quickly. It's the cheaper way than getting a cooler, which is like £300. You just get this, costs you probably about £50 for the entire setup. That's my sump. That's the change it goes through. It's where the magic happens. Now you can see down the bottom left I've got the no pole. I probably dose 4 mil every other day, just to try and keep my nitrates down. I aim to keep my nitrates at about 1, on a high sensitivity test kit. Phosphates, I'm about 0.03 I think it is. I have to keep it 0 if I could, but I just can't keep it that low. Now KH I'm quite high at the moment, I'm at 10. I like to keep the KH quite high, make it difficult for algae, plus my corals love it. Calcium's at 430, magnesium is at 1350, iodine is at 0.06. Essentially my, at the moment I'm on a rental CO2 canister while mine's off to be filled. I use the deltec regulator. Best thing about that regulator is it's got fine tuning. And my MP40 is set to reef crest, and it only just barely goes over halfway. Anything above that, the water's just too turbulent, sends my car's crazy. And at the moment, I'm not even nowhere near reaching the peak of my lights. My white's 58, blue 72, and royal at 50. I'm slowly cranking it up every month, just a little bit. After speaking to Aqua customer support, they've advised I aim for about 80 across the board, because these lights come with the ends ones are 70 degrees and the inners are 40, but I've changed them all for 70 to try and spread the light. I do dose phytoplankton every night before I go to bed, just to try and feed the little critters. I've got about 60 kilos of live rock. I keep a gentle flow at the top, nothing too crazy. Fingers crossed within a year's time, hopefully I'll be looking at setting up some frags for some of my corals. It's just terrible how these lights always comes out on your iPhone. One thing my fish ate is the magnet. This is the best one I could find. Try and get it on it, there we are. Float blade JBL. It's got the outer blade on it. This is great for getting tough algae off your corals and off your glass. There we are. Yeah, they hate it when they get the magnet out. He gets quite defensive, gets in his little enemy. And this was something that I spent weeks trying to get my class to take to the enemy. Must have took about 8 weeks. I spent forever on forums seeing how to get them to bond, and in the end it was just, they took it one night, nothing on my part. So if anyone who's trying to get them to bond, I suppose it's just time is your friend, and it'll eventually happen. An issue with my 2 tangs. We originally had a fighting spree between them, but now swim together quite happily. And that's it, hopefully I've covered everything. If you drop me a comment, I'll try and reply. To be honest, my phone never really pings up when I get comments, so I don't tend to read until about a month later. I mean, I take no praise, I am an amateur. No doubt I've probably made many mistakes in this tank, and I've wasted a lot of money. I truly enjoy doing it. If anyone's got any advice for anything that I've got to set it wrong, then please let me know so I can get it sorted.